I've been facing this year some pretty big professional and personal challenges. And so lately I've been thinking a lot about how to approach some of these challenges a little bit more creatively. And so I got a little bit inspired by the Steven Zagmeister exhibit at the Design Exchange to try and find ways to approach my life and to create a better level of well-being using my favorite things, design, data, and cycles. So before I could actually approach this sort of new redesign of my life and well-being, I had to track my current state of well-being. And so I started to think about charts and diagrams so that I could sort of think about where I was on the happiness scale. So this is Steven Zagmeister's happiness hierarchy. He takes Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which go from your basic survival needs up to self-actualization. Didn't really work for me. I needed something a little bit more fluid, and I didn't like the idea of steps. So I was watching the series finale of 30 Rock the other day, and I loved how Jack used the Six Sigma wheel of domination to, he was kind of feeling discomfort in his life, and he was just sort of stuck. And so he created the Six Sigma wheel of happiness domination. So he applied the same ideas of once you have reached certain levels of happiness in all of these different areas, then you must be happy. And so he could track, arts and leisure and hobbies and relationships. So what I liked about Jack's approach was he used a methodology that was he knew was successful in his work that he could then apply to his own life. And he could use it to discover the gaps in his happiness domination trail or journey. So I knew that I needed to use methods in my own work that I understood and processes in order to track my own sort of path to happiness. And so this is just a really pretty prism cycle of colors that I put in there because I thought I might need more time to talk. Obviously not. The first one that I thought about was the work I do with Commons 11. You can see the cutoff logo there. We teach clients and workshop participants how to use agile software development processes in how to create social change. So we help them to open up and use iteration in the work that they're doing. Then next I thought about a principle and cycle that really has added value to my work and to the principles that I approach work with, which is from biomimicry, which says that life is integrated and interconnected with nature. And so we need to use patterns from nature to actually create a more sustainable future and to look at creating conditions that are conducive to life. So it's a different way of looking at product design. And so then, as often when I'm brainstorming, my thoughts went on a completely different tangent. And I thought about other cycles that I really loved, like the two wheels that I ride on every day to work. And it looked a bit like this. That's what my brain process looked like. And it also brings me back to the other inspiration that I had for thinking about my well-being, and that was I got into a really serious bike accident in last spring and was off work for 2 months because of a concussion. And it really sort of makes you, that's me and my bike in the winter. I came back to my bike after that sort of really hitting the ground and having a lot of time to think about things that were not deep and or important, because you can't. When you have a concussion, you just have to rest. And I decided to winter bike this year. So I've been biking even through like this much snow. So anyways, I created my own cycles. I thought about 3 areas of my life that needed, that were constrained, so work, relationships, and health. I started with work. I created a pie chart about work that I thought would be fulfilled. I like the idea of using a pie chart because I could calculate the percentages that I felt were fulfilled. Work to me was easy because it is something really fulfilling for me. I started a company this year that creates technology solutions for real-world challenges and facilitates co-creation. So I think that I've found a pretty good balance in my work life. Relationships, I thought of 4 areas: family, friends, love, and self. I thought that 2 of the states of my relationships were in really good shape, so family and friends. So they, you know, I don't really need to do a lot of work, although it's always nice to check in. The love part needs a little bit more work, but I'm taking this really great opportunity to do something called Dating by Design, which is an awesome session done by Ayla in the back. And then with self, I'm trying to improve myself through just giving myself a bit more attention. And by the way, this is a first iteration of this process, so please bear with me if it doesn't quite work logically or, you know, isn't fully thought out. And then health. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I, over the past few years, have been suffering from an increased level of anxiety to the point where it became debilitating. And believe me, getting hit on the head on concrete really makes you wake up to realize you don't have to live with that sort of anxiety. So this was my current state of health earlier this year. You can see the blue, that's my anxiety. And then these are the other health aspects that I was working on to try and combat that. And so I decided I really needed to change that. So I needed a new cycle. So this is my optimal health cycle, both mental and physical health. I'm really happy to say that I'm in the middle of it, and I hope to only increase it and make that blue area no longer it's anxiety but reflection. And so I decided that by taking different approaches towards my health and well-being, I could create the optimal Melanie wellness chart, which looks a lot like my favorite cycle. So thank you very much.